Hey guys, we're currently in Dusseldorf in Germany and we're at Classic Remise. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but inside here there's restaurants, shops, everything, but there's absolutely crazy cars. I haven't checked everything out yet, so let's go inside and see what there is to get. So walking in, you can already see it's packed with cars. We just ate at that restaurant over there. And starting off, we have a Morgan here, but that's because there's a Morgan dealership. Now, I honestly don't know too much about Morgans, but there's pretty much all different types inside here. But let's keep walking because there's car storage here and there's pretty much every type of car you can imagine. So I think best thing to do is to start upstairs, seeing that there's a Carrera GT literally right there. So let's walk up the stairs and take a look at this. So first car up, Carrera GT, steel gray, terracotta interior, Porsche 356, GT3 RS, 2 SLS. The one in the back is a final edition. Now, a lot of these older classics that, to be honest, I don't know too much about, so I might have to skip over those. Now, here we have a car that's been gaining crazy popularity recently. This is an E55 AMG wagon. A lot of people have been importing these to Canada. They have monoblock wheels, the V8, crazy car, very low key. You got to know that's before AMG had, like, you know, the crazy fenders, crazy everything. Like, you really got to know what you're looking at in this. Now here we have two shooting brakes that are very cool for two very different reasons, at least to me. Here we have the Aston Martin Zagato, which obviously, you know, they're worth like $1 million. Very rare cars. We saw one of them in Montreal last weekend. But then here's a car that's special to me because it's the Volvo P1800. I actually have kind of the new version of this car. I own a Volvo C30, so kind of cool to see. So walking here, we have a lot more classics, but once we look across, we have a BMW 2002, kind of like a rally car. Next has a 2.7 RS and a 964 turbo. So here we have a Ferrari 599 GTB next to a 355. Very cool. Older 911, but man, one of my favorite cars here has got to be this Alfa Romeo 8C Spider in blue. This light blue. I've never seen another one in this color. And we've actually seen, I think, 4 or 5 other 8Cs today at a Ferrari dealership, which unfortunately we could not film. So speaking of Ferrari 355s, we have this very nice black one right here. It's a manual as well. The F1 transmissions are just a little bit more problems than you need when this car is already a bit of a nightmare on maintenance, but with a manual, at least it's worth it. Now, you might already be able to kind of see, but what I'm telling you, there's all kinds of cars here. There's all kinds of cars here. 190 SL, but next to that is a brand new Ford GT, $1 million car, just casually here. And 190 SL here, but then here we have a 300 SL Roadster. Speaking of $1 million cars, this is like $1 million to $2 million car next to, you know, a regular 280 SL. And again, talking about some big boy cars, we got a BMW M1 here, not the 1M, the real M1, the original M car, 2005 or 2006 Ford GT, 4-option car, BBS, stripes, sound system, and red brake calipers. Next to this brown carbon Pagani Huayra with a brown interior. I don't think I've ever even seen pictures of this specific one. The Tempesta package, you can tell by the wheels and the lip. Next to that is another 300 SL Roadster. Now, before we head back down, let's look at the last few cars on the top levels. We have a final edition Mercedes SLS, some older Mercedes that I don't really know about, Ferrari 328, don't really know about that. Then here we have this flat nose or slant nose Porsche 911 and a GT3 right there. And in between them, it's dark, it's a black, but it's Ferrari 296. It's just hard to see. Now, let's go back down to the first floor where we can take a closer look at some of the cars. Now, I know it's not the best that some of the cars are in these glass encasings, but don't you worry, because in this room right here, we can get up and close to all the cars. The ropes aren't around all the cars. A lot of cars we can just get up very close to, so we'll go check that out in a second. But for now, Sport Classic 992 in the launch spec. Another older 911. I don't really know too much about this one. And yeah, let's go keep looking. So here we have this, I believe it's a signal green 992 GT3 RS, a brand new one. Very cool. And then next to that, I don't know if this is a real car, but I believe it looks like a prototype to me. Some Volkswagen. I think it's like one of those like efficient, crazy fuel distance cars. Either that or it's electric. Honestly, I don't really know. Alfa Romeo 4C. Very cool SL in this light blue color with the light blue wheels. Then a 964 right here. Ferrari F8 Spider. These are actually extremely hard to get because they start production about a year into making them. So Mercedes SLS right here, which is pretty cool. But next to the car is very, very interesting to me. Now, this is a BMW M1. I don't really know much about it, but there's something off. The back is very big. The front is very slick. I don't know if it's a prototype or what it is, but very interesting. Probably some sort of one-off. But now let's keep moving. We have a Ferrari Daytona right here. Next to that is a modern-ish V12, which is a 599 GTB. Looks like it has the HGTE package. And then a Ferrari 458, your typical spec red black roof Spider, an Alfa Romeo Fiat. Don't know too much about these. Now let's walk over to the main area where there's some serious cars here. So here's something you do not see every day. This is a Brabus G65 or V12 G-Wagon. This might have been before that G65s, but normally you see these fake Brabus kits, especially in North America. But here we're about half an hour away from the actual Brabus factory, so this is real. Also a G cab right here, a few ghosts, 992 GT3 Touring and a Ferrari Dino. Now, as you can see, some of my favorite cars are right here, but before we get to that, let's just do this section. Here we have somewhat of a Doug DeMuro section. We have a Land Rover Defender and another G cab, very Doug DeMuro. Just a regular 996 cab, but this one looks particularly clean. Next has a Ferrari FF. There's a Thunderbird, some SLs, another older 911. Very cool color on this 993. Next has another 996 cab, but next to that is the most unique 996 I've ever seen. So it's got the cup package 996, like the Aero pack, but everything is in this army green, around the headlights, the wheels, the color, everything. So here is a Ferrari 575, and we move on to a BMW Z8, which we know very well. We've driven this a lot on the channel. Very good car, very solid car. Ferrari 400i, which is kind of like the cheapest Ferrari you could buy, but here we have a BMW 8 Series. Now this one is an 850 CSI, which I believe should mean that it is a manual. Let's go check it out. So it's the V12, and nope, this one is automatic. Now we already saw the 575 on this lineup of Ferraris, but here we have a Ferrari F430 Spider, a 360 Coupe, and another matching 360 Coupe. So here's the Clown True BMW Z3M Coupe. We will drive this thing at some point, probably this season, to try it out. But very cool hatchback, two-seater. Next has a 997 Turbo in this paint to sample color. So we just finished eating at this restaurant, which has this great view, right? So let's go check out the really cool cars that are on this side. First of all, we have a Ferrari Testarossa. You do see them a lot, but very cool to see. Already saw the Dino, but very cool gray on this Ferrari A12 GTS. The open top, probably the best lines on a modern Ferrari in a long time. This Murcielago is awesome. It's got kind of like the racing OZ wheels. The one thing that obviously disappointed me, sorry to say, but I looked inside, it is a paddle shifter car, which also means it's not first year of production, because first 2 years of production, I believe, were all manuals, because this is a first gen. Behind that, there's this Mercedes Mclaren SLR, which is very cool. But next to that is the extreme version, the 722, the 1 of 150 in matte black. You can tell by all the carbon bits, the wheels. Crazy car, so rare to see. People don't really drive them anymore. And next to that is this blue, dark blue Ferrari A12 Superfast. So this is probably my favorite car here, the 1 of 80. Absolutely mental. Lamborghini Diablo GT, roof scoop, wing, like everything is insane. So it's pretty much based off the GTR race car, like the 6-liter. It's one of the later cars, open headlights, maybe the most valuable Diablo you can get. Absolutely wild. It has this unique hood that no other Diablo has, but it's the first one, I believe, that came with the open headlights. Car looks so mean, and you can see the differences next to it because there's a regular early Diablo. So look at the difference of how aggressive the GT looks compared to the Diablo, which already is a very, very aggressive car. So we saw the Zagato shooting brake upstairs, but here we have the Zagato convertible. I think this is based off the Vanquish. Also, absolutely super rare in this red. And then a new 4GT black with the white stripes. Crazy race car, pretty much 2 of them that we've seen so far. Maybe there's more somewhere. Let's keep walking. 964 Carrera RS, which is kind of the predecessor to what's behind it, which is the 991.1 GT3 RS. So this was kind of the GT3 before there was a GT3, and now we know them as this with the big wings and everything on them. So here we have a few of these AC/Shelby Cobras. Honestly, most of them are replicas, most likely. Don't really know. But next to those is, in this fenced off area, at least the one car that, okay, maybe 2 cars I know here, but 300 SL Roadster. Again, we saw 2 upstairs. There's another one here. Crazy, just inside like this restaurant area. But moving on, we have this E60, the V10 BMW M5 wagon. So we never got the wagons in North America. Probably the first one I've ever seen in person. So the other very special car in this roped off area is this GT2 911 993. Has the crazy intakes on the wing, the wide body. Wilds. These cars are ultra rare, ultra crazy, probably insane to drive. Crazy that there's one here next to this Lamborghini Gallardo, and One of the kind of more forgotten about McLarens, the 675 LT Spider. The 675, I think, is the car to buy right now. They're so rare, so cool, very clean design. Honestly, I like these more than I like the 765s. They age so well. Now, normally I would never film a Porsche Boxster, especially not the first gen, but what is this color with the paint match hardtop roof? That is actually really, really crazy. Got a few more cars here. Some Porsches, Maseratis, but there's a Ferrari 512 BBI here. Super nice. So here we have a green Ferrari 812 Superfast, and one of the best cars ever, 911R. Next one, E-Type. Then a Lotus Exige in matte black. Don't see a lot of Lotuses. And just an R8 and a Maserati. So yeah, those are the cars we found here. Absolutely wild. There's just the Diablo GT, SLR 722, two new 4GTs, like Zagatos. All of this outside of this like restaurant, this little kind of plaza, indoor plaza area here. The German car culture is incredible. It's way more open to the public to see than the Canadian one. They want you to kind of see the cars. They want to display the cars. Amazing to see that.